Pune has a very strong presence of theatre as a city. If you go around India, there are not many cities where you will find that theatre is sustained. Theatre has that kind of sustained or very powerful existence in the city. So Pune is something which uh, requires that kind of spaces or infrastructure uh, which favors this kind of position, that this unique position that Pune has. So in the cultural scenario of Pune, we had very strong presence of theatre, many minds, many people like us who were doing theatre very in a sustained manner, in a strong manner, but there was uh, nothing in infrastructure which would support theatre to be done in an open way. You had only limited number of spaces like Bal Gandharva Rangamandir, Bharat Natya Mandir, and Tilak Smarak Mandir, and then latest was Yashwantrao Chavan, and all those large theatres which were kind of proscenium theatres. The infrastructure was not providing anything that was giving the directors the chance to think about space. What kind of space should I do? What kind of transaction of using that space between me, my production, and my audience will happen? That kind of freedom or that kind of choice was not there. So I kept thinking about how can that be done and where that can be done. A place, a venue where you respect theatre in uh, every technical detail of making theatre was not present in Pune. So I started searching for spaces, and then I collided with this particular space, which is actually an abandoned factory unit. So, and then I saw the possibilities of converting this space into a theatre space. So that is how the box came into existence. So basically, box is a type of theatre that is called black box. So a black box is literally a black room with six sides, cuboid or cube shaped, and then you have all the facilities that theatre primarily needs, and you have the setting material, lights, then people can sit there in various arrangements, and you can show your theatrical presentations any which way you want. How the black box came into existence in Europe around Second World War, when people wanted to have some more kind of intimate dialogue with their audiences, and very contemporary dialogue with their audiences, not something from past history or nothing epic as such, which is very real, which is today's questions, which is contemporary. They wanted to talk about them, and that was something that theatre demanded. Their theatre demanded that the audience should be very accessible, approachable, and that is how the black boxes came into existence. Now coming, generally the performances that happen here are of experimental nature, where you are trying to do some experiment with either with the content or the form or the space or the transaction between the audience and the, I mean, interactive presentation. So whichever way you want to present it, generally what happens is this kind of spaces, because they allow you to experiment, because they allow you to do your stuff in such a way that you can keep things very malleable, or you can design them separately, or you can design them atypically. So that is how it happens, and so people prefer this space for presentations of that kind, that type, where you are minimalist and you are atypical. You are thinking in a different way about the exact usage of space and the dynamics between the audience and the performer. From classical music, then storytelling, story theatre, then you can have absurd theatre. Everything happens here. Even the commercial theatre, they come here and do their stuff here. So because the space provides everything. Space doesn't say that I won't present this. It is you who are going to use the space in a particular way. So it's so open. But this is not just a space for rehearsals. People do their programs here. You can have a program here with 50 persons in audience. You are doing your stand-up. Just one person. Or you can have product shootings, podcast shootings, screenings. There is this white screen. In my plays, generally I experiment with the space, and most of my plays are immersive and they happen quite close to you or in between your sitting arrangement. So we end up allowing 100% in the audience. So it depends, and that is the beauty of the space, where you can have audience above and do the play below, or have play below, play above and audience sitting below, or audience sitting on all the sides, audience sitting on two sides, audience sitting on three sides, whatever, whichever way you want them to sit, you can do that. There are various ways. I can tell you a few. There is one play of ours where we arrange things in such a way that it rains. It rains during the performance. And then there is a play that's happening tomorrow. It's a village setup, and you are sitting somewhere in the village, and people come running from the hill. They play, they talk to each other. There is a house also, and various places. I mean, just one venue gets converted into several venues. Then, whereas what we do is we provide you 35 to 40 lights. We provide you all the setting material like this. Whatever you want to use, you can use that. All the platforms, levels, and everything. And then we give you 7 hours to set up your play and do your shows. So mostly what people do is they do 2 shows or 3 shows of their production after their setting up. So that provides them more experience, more crowd can be pulled for that, and still it remains intimate enough. So there's various people. I mean, people who love to watch theatre as art more than entertainment. I mean, entertainment is one part, yes. People do come here to watch, but they are searching for meaning, right? Searching for something that is beyond that entertainment. So people of that sort, they come in more numbers. People who love to experiment with content, people who love to watch such experiments, people who love to promote or appreciate new ideas, new presentations, they come here more. We do call it avant-garde, but that's one way of describing that. And these ideas come to us from the Western world. But I would rather call it a community space. It's more than just experimental or just avant-garde. It's more than that. People start relating to people in a particular way. They start feeling safe to say something that they want to say. They come here, they don't fear experimenting. they feel that this is my ground, this kind of thing. So that is how there is this emotional bonding also between the space and the theatre maker. So again, experimental, avant-garde, whatever you are saying, they are all the streams that come from the European art movements. Whereas the Indian scenario is much different than what we just borrow those terms, but the terms are not exactly applicable here. Because our emotional needs through art are something different. The same movie, when it gets adapted here, it has songs, it has dances, it has very different ways of saying things, and so many things. So different colors, different flavors. So how does that happen? Because as a society, our emotional needs are different. So this is how it doesn't exactly fit that word. But yeah, it is parallel to what you are saying. It's similar.